Okay, ready, go. Okay, here we are at Brewer Pool, June 5th, 2013. Jerome's doing a 1,000 meter IM. Starting off pretty smooth in his butterfly. Keeping his chin on the surface of the water every time he takes a breath. And that's a good sign that he's staying flat. He's not using a lot of energy to come up out of the water. And we're only at the 50 meter mark, and he's still showing signs of doing 2 kicks for every pull. So we'll see if he can maintain that in this 1,000 meter. Very relaxed fly. Arms are just kind of flopping into the pool, which is nice to see. But there is room for improvement towards the finish of his stroke. He needs to push past his bathing suit as far as he can. But at the same time, he's doing 250 meters of butterfly, so he might be saving some energy and purposely not pushing all the way down. So approaching the 100 meter mark. Jerome's legs are now starting to sink a little bit every time he takes a breath. It's a natural sign of fatigue. And he also took a stroke before the flag, so it's another sign that he's not pushing off the wall and gliding underwater as far as he did at the start of this event. Okay, a little bit of a change in his stroke. He's now diving down a little bit deeper in the water, looking for more hang time. At this point, it doesn't really matter what type of swimmer you are, but you will get tired. We are at the 150 meter mark. Seems to be pretty balanced in his stroke. His kick is not as aggressive, kind of hanging there like a tail now. At this point, we want to see Jerome maintain his stroke rate. But it's a little bit difficult to do that when he's diving a little bit deeper in the water. My suggestion is that he enter his hands a little bit wider so that he can start his pull sooner but still maintain a nice long pull past his bathing suit through the power phase. Other than that, still looks strong. Chin is still on the water. Every time he takes a breath, he's pushing forward, pushing his chin forward. 200 meters. And the final 50 of butterfly. Great to see his kick. He's got a little bit more flicking action, which is great. And we also want to see his hands to enter a little bit straighter in the water. Right now they're bent, kind of like a freestyle stroke. We want to see that a little bit straighter with the thumb side of the forearm down into the water first. Actually quite impressed right now. I've never seen Jerome swim this well, which makes me to believe that he's not trying as hard during swim practices. And now off to backstroke. And there we have his split, 6 minutes and 8 seconds, 0.94 for the butterfly. And he's doing exactly what I would do, is probably use this, the first couple of lengths of backstroke as recovery. Try to control his breathing. You can hear that slap in the back of his hand hitting the water, which is a great sign. Just kind of stretching out his arms, trying to get a little bit relaxed so that when he starts picking up his pace, he can do so. Okay, 50 meters of backstroke. Pretty good stroke in general. His left arm could probably pull a little bit deeper in the water. If you notice towards the end of his stroke, actually it's both left and right. As he's pulling through the water, his fingertips almost scrape the surface of the water. So that's an indication that there is room to pull a little bit deeper. So he could either just basically put his arms deeper in the water or rotate his body a little bit more side to side to allow that deeper pull to happen. Okay, so 100 meters now, backstroke. Good push off, getting up to the flags. And nice to see that his fingers are actually pointing to the sides of the pool. So as he's pulling through the water, he's trying to maximize his feel and his catch for the water, not just using his hands but also his forearms. Jerome's kick is a little bit too low in the water. We need to see his toes closer to the surface of the water, and it should look like there's boiling water where his kick is. And right now we don't see that. His feet are a little bit too deep. Okay, so 150 meters now. Pretty balanced stroke. Looks like he's swimming in a straight line. Arms are coming up nice and high. Keeping his head still, brushing basically his arm against his cheek every time he takes a stroke. Jerome's right arm, as you can see as it enters the water, it's a small crossover. There's a little bit of room to enter a little bit wider in the water and to have a straight arm on the entry as well. Okay, last 2 lengths. We'll see Jerome pick up the pace a little bit. Definitely see a higher turnover, faster stroke rate. Kick is a little bit closer to the surface. We see some boiling water, which is great. We didn't see that earlier. And if he were to have a smaller kick, but a faster kick, I think that would benefit his body position in the water. Okay, he might be trying a little bit too hard now. So you see his head dipping into the water. You don't want to break that body position. And off to breaststroke. And split time was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. 0.78 for backstroke. And now we're entering probably the hardest part of the event. It's breaststroke. Jerome decides to skip the underwater pullout. Probably a lack of oxygen right now. It's got a short pull, which is exactly what you need right now. Breaststroke is all kick. And ideally, Jerome should be pulling, kicking out, stretching, and at the same time, while he's stretching, he should be dipping down a little bit. So as he were to dive down, his hips would rise up to the surface. And right now, we don't see that. Right now, he's just coming up, taking a breath, and then going back down. Which means his legs and his lower half of his body will sink down a little bit deeper in the water. Okay, good to see Jerome finishing his kick. So both feet are touching after every single kick. He's trying to maximize his glide by stretching out, which looks nice. There we go, underwater pull, so he's getting his energy back. Okay, approaching 100-meter mark. All right, so 100 meters. It looks like every time that Jerome comes up to take a breath, his legs will dip and sink a little bit deeper in the water. This could be a lack of flexibility in the back, and obviously it could be fatigue. And he didn't do an underwater pull-out, so he's probably feeling it now. Now for longer swims in breaststroke, it's not that crucial to come up high out of the water. So there's actually room to possibly have a smaller pull, chin closer to the surface of the water, and really focus on the kick more. So there we are, 150 meters. See Jerome's back clearly coming out of the water. So at this point, we just hope that his kick can support his upper body driving forward. Okay, so here we are, front view. His pull looks like it's a little bit deeper in the water. The actual sculling motion should be close to the surface, and Jerome's starting to drop down a little bit deeper. Last 2 lengths of breaststroke. Seems like he's doing an extra push now, which almost looks like he's doing a fly kick with his breaststroke kick, and that's not allowed, so you gotta be careful with that. That's why it's important that when you finish your kick and you dive forward, that you kind of dive down a little bit, so it allows your hips to rise up. And right now he's got a strong breaststroke kick, and every time he takes a breath, his feet will actually kick down a little bit, almost like a fly kick. Definitely has some power here though. His pace and his speed is faster. All right, time of 5 minutes, 52 seconds, .50. That was the split for the breaststroke. And here we are, freestyle. I would imagine he's going to use the first couple lengths as almost like a cool down and a warm up to the last 200 meters. Okay, so here we go, nice stroke, very little kick happening. And notice there was no flip turn. Even though there's no kick, I do actually like it because it's streamlined. Because both his legs are close together and they're not drifting apart. As long as they're close together, that will maintain that streamlined position. And the one thing about freestyle is that power phase of the stroke, which is pushing hard past your hips. And if you look at Jerome's stroke, right now he does have a push, but there's room for about 4 or 5 inches more to go past his hips. And that is the power phase. So he is missing that right now. When his right hand enters the water, and as he stretches out, his thumb is sticking out. So just a little thing, put your thumb close to your hand, to your fingers, so that all your fingers are together, and that will create a more streamlined position. And it looks like his left hand is doing the exact same thing, reaching out for a handshake rather than a swimming stroke. In general, good body position, horizontal in the water. So it's the 100-meter mark. Okay, here we go. Finally, we get some flip turns. A little bit of slipping through the water, which means his elbow's coming back first. A couple of things he needs to do to fix that is pull a little bit deeper in the water and having his arm as if it's curling around a barrel, filling up his forearm, his underarm, full of water to push it back. And he's getting tired, or actually he is tired. So his elbow is slipping back a little bit, which means the power phase is really weak. Okay, 150 meters here. pretty good stroke. His left arm swings out just a little bit too wide. To fix that, maybe a little bit more body roll. Bent arm a little bit. And I noticed that his left arm, because it is wide out, it throws his whole body position off to the right-hand side a little bit. And he did not do a flip turn. See that left arm kind of out, but the right arm, you see the nice high elbow. Left arm swings out to the side a little bit. Pretty balanced stroke though underwater, looks pretty good. Last 2 lengths. See a lot more white water. Picked up the pace. You can actually see his kick now, which is very good. We were missing that in the first 200 meters. And the last few meters here, last 5 meters. All right, very good. Freestyle split was 4 minutes, 32 seconds, 0.09. Overall time was 21 minutes, 54 seconds, 0.31.
Give me a minute.